Universe Tarot. I am here with your mid-month update for the month of September 2018. Before I get into your reading, I do just want to go ahead and say a couple of things. I've decided to start posting these videos in terms of how many views the last set of videos got. So you guys had one of the higher viewed videos, and as a result, I wanted to go ahead and reward you guys by posting this video among the first batch to come out for the mid-month updates. And I do plan on doing that going forward as well, so just something to keep in mind there. Additionally, I have posted the monthly videos for all of the signs for the month of September. They are a little bit longer, they go into a lot more detail. So if you're watching this and it really doesn't resonate with you, definitely go ahead and check out your monthly reading, because you're probably going to get some more information there. And also, I've noticed as I've been doing these videos and these readings that these particular spreads are a lot more specific in terms of storylines. They aren't really going to apply to a whole group of people. So that's why there's definitely benefit in checking out your monthly videos, and also, as always, checking out the videos for your moon sign and your rising sign to get a little bit more information regarding your particular situation. So that's pretty much all I had to say for you guys, and we'll go ahead and get started with your reading. It's a pretty simple 5-card spread. I interpret it kind of in the style of Lenormand divinatory, readings. So if you guys are familiar with that style, you'll kind of understand how I clarify things. But I just wanted to go ahead, in case there were some readers out there, and let you guys know how I'm going to be taking a look at your spread. So your central issue for the rest of the month is the Six of Swords in reverse. This is a card I would definitely rather see in the upright. In the upright, it's all about moving from rough waters and stormy seas into calmer waters. So leaving behind something turbulent or volatile and moving on into something that brings you a lot more peace and calm. That could mean a lot of things: leaving behind a relationship or leaving behind a job or whatever it may be, just moving on from something bad and into something good. So with this card being in the reverse, it says to me that we are not doing that. We are staying stuck, maybe usually willfully. And that just comes from not wanting to admit that, whatever situation we're in no longer works for us. And I think that's something that everybody does at some point in time. We may have spent a lot of time on something, invested a lot of emotions and energy into something, and when it's just not working out, we would rather keep going back through the vicious cycle sometimes than to leave that behind in pursuit of something new, because, there's always that fear of letting go, and sometimes people feel safer in something that they've known for a while, the devil you know versus the devil you don't. So with this being central to your reading for the rest of the month, it says to me that you guys may be in a difficult situation right now, whatever that may be for you. Maybe it's a relationship or a job situation that you're unhappy in, or a friend group that you're having issues with, or whatever it may be. But there's definitely a need to move on, and it doesn't always have to be, oh, well, you're with somebody and you're having a difficult time, so it's time to call it quits and cut the cord. It can sometimes just mean moving on from a certain phase in a relationship or a certain phase in a job. But you guys do have the Ten of Swords here at the very end, which I will get to later on. But there's definitely the need to end something. Doesn't necessarily have to be a 100% permanent ending to a relationship or a job or any, particular situation that you're interested in. I do think for a lot of people that's what it's going to be, because the Ten of Swords is a pretty gnarly ending. But it doesn't have to be. It can just mean, you're ending a certain phase in your relationship or in your career, and there's definitely a need to move on into something new. So the focus is going to be really kind of having that revelation where you guys realize that it's time to move on from something that's been causing you a lot of grief, and trying to find something that brings you a little bit more peace, and that doesn't have you stressed out or angry or fighting or whatever it may be all the time. So you're gonna know how that applies to you if it does apply to you. So your first card that you guys have is the High Priestess in reverse. Kind of goes back to what I was saying with the Six of Swords in the reverse. The High Priestess is all about, your intuition, introspection. In the upright, she kind of acts as the keeper of knowledge. The High Priestess knows all things, essentially, and she's very, very careful with the knowledge that she doles out to people. And so she doesn't give you all the answers at once, but she knows all these answers. And that just comes from a deep intuitive knowledge. And with this being in the reverse, especially with the moon card, with the moon being present in the card, it says to me that there may be some secrets. There may be some secrets, not just that you're keeping from other people or other people are keeping from you, but that you may be keeping from yourself. Truths that we may not want to acknowledge. Just a general lack of not really going within, not being introspective, not really thinking about a situation, probably because it's a difficult situation that we really don't want to ruminate on. You know what it is that you have to do regarding whatever situation that you're in. And with the High Priestess showing up here in reverse, it's just like you kind of don't want to think about it, because thinking about it then makes it real. And once you start having those thoughts and start going through that sort of, mental process, then you kind of get pushed to having to make a decision. And that's not something that a lot of people want to do. It's better sometimes, some people feel, to just kind of bury your head in the sand. So I think that's something that some of you guys may have been doing for a little bit of time now. And really, you're going to have to figure out how you can get out of that mindset, get out of that rut, unbury your head from the sand and really look at your situation openly and honestly, so that you can make the best decision for yourself. Because right next to this, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Now this can mean several things. First of all, it's not necessarily negative just because it's in the reverse. The Wheel of Fortune is generally seen as a positive card when it shows in the upright. However, there's always a caveat to the Wheel of Fortune that I always feel the need to mention. The Wheel of Fortune is constantly spinning. So when it shows in the upright for people, it's just a matter of time before it's in the reverse. And when it shows in the reverse for people, it's just a matter of time before it's in the upright. That's just the way life is. Things happen in a cycle and we go through ups and downs and ups and downs. That's what this card symbolizes. So for some of you guys, you might be in a bit of a down phase. If you're in a down phase, that's fine, because eventually this card is going to flip into the upright. However, that doesn't happen just on its own all the time. Sometimes we have to put in work to get things going. So, like I've been saying, some of you guys do need to do some introspection. You do need to do some deep thinking about what it is you want, how you want to proceed, and where you want to go from here. And once you've made that decision and you start acting in accordance with that truth, then this is going to flip into the upright for you guys. And this is all about, destiny and positive things and luck coming your way. This is on the table for you. It's here. It's in the reverse right now, so there's a delay, there's a holdup in getting this card to you in the upright. We just have to figure out what's holding the wheel up and doing what we can on our end to flip it into the upright, or to at the very least speed up the process. You can't always control everything, but just trying to do whatever you can within your control, that's going to help hurry this process along for you. So there's definitely good things coming your way. It's just going to come with making some difficult decisions. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. There's definitely some painful things that are going on here, and a lot of avoidance in terms of really looking at the situation clearly for what it is. And once you guys do that, that's really going to catalyze a lot of changes for you in a very, very big way. So I think that because you have 2 10s here, the Wheel of Fortune being a 10 in the major arcana, I do think that potentially by October, if you really do the work that you need to do to get to where you need to be, by October, you can start to see things pick up for you. So I just wanted to throw that timeline out there. So you guys can keep that in mind. Maybe not the beginning of October, but potentially the end of October. So moving on, you guys have the Four of Wands in the upright. You know, this is a really great card. The Four of Wands is all about celebrations and engagements and marriages and happy homes and, you know, just looking at the people in the card. It looks like a family and everything's great and there's flowers everywhere and blah, blah, blah. So this can symbolize potentially a marital situation or a situation where you're living with somebody, you have a shared household, whatever it may be. Because of the other cards that are showing up in the reading, it makes me think that maybe the happy-go-lucky nature in this card that's being depicted here is a little bit of a facade. So, you know, sometimes when things are you know, you might be going through a rough patch with somebody or you're in a difficult place, you know, just kind of in a tough situation, there's always a need to present a much more united and happier front to the rest of the world, rather than being open about whatever it is that you're going through. And that's understandable. I think everybody is prone to doing that. So you're going to know if that applies to you, if you're feeling this need to constantly affirm to everybody else that you are happy and everything is fine when you know deep down that things are not fine, or that you really need to look at your situation openly and honestly and come to that realization, you're going to know if that applies to you. You know, some of you guys, it may just symbolize that, you know, you are married, you are going through a bit of a difficult time, and in some cases, you might make the decision to end the marriage. That doesn't mean everybody's going to go out and get a divorce or, you know, break up a long-term relationship or whatever the case may be. But with the Ten of Swords card coming up next, it makes me think that there's definitely some sort of painful ending, potentially involving some sort of betrayal or backstabbing situation, just because of the nature of the Ten of Swords itself. So even though the Four of Wands is in the upright, you know, the rest of your spread kind of downplays the positive aspects of that card. It kind of balances it out. So, you know, again, you're going to know whether or not that applies to you. You know, even if you don't necessarily break up a marriage or a long-term relationship or, you know, a happy-go-lucky business partnership or whatever it may be, however it may apply to you, there might be a very, very painful transition moving forward. You know, again, like maybe you've been fighting with your partner for some time and then all of a sudden they come out and say, hey, you know, I've been cheating, I had an affair, whatever it may be, just because, again, what I said before about the backstabbing situation. And you don't decide to break up with them, but there's like a certain part of your relationship that's died with this truth that comes out. And maybe it's something you suspected for a while, but you don't leave each other, and now maybe you make the decision to go into marital counseling, and it's just a really, really rough transition, trying to fix everything and get things back to where they used to be. So that's just an example that might not resonate with, you know, everybody or even anybody, but just kind of to give you an idea of what I'm talking about in the event that there is not a 100% permanent ending. However, the Ten of Swords is one of those cards that, like the Death card, is usually about a 100% permanent ending. So I'm just trying to, you know, hit as many possible storylines as I can. But whenever I see this card, it usually says to me that something is 100% done. We are moving away from it. We are done. It's usually a painful ending just because of, you know, all the swords that are in this guy's back. But the positive side is if you look out here beyond these mountains, you can see that the sun is rising. So basically, you go through this really, really crappy ending, this really crappy transition, you finish up this awful cycle, and that allows you to move forward into something positive, healthier, and just something that's going to bring you a lot more happiness than whatever situation you were in. The only thing is that, you know, sometimes we have a difficult time looking that far out into the future, and we're so focused on the present pain that we don't see that we're being guided in the right direction. So do just keep in mind that if this is something that you're going through, I know that this reading is pretty specific and might not resonate with everybody, but if this does resonate with you, you are going to know. you know, there's definitely some major ending coming up if it hasn't already happened. And you know deep down inside that you really have to move away from whatever the situation is. It's all about being honest with yourself and then, you know, making those particular choices, even if they hurt in the short term, to bring you the peace and the happiness that, you know, you need, and that you frankly deserve in the long term. So the card that you guys got on the bottom of the deck, which is like the overall energy of your reading, is the Queen of Wands in the upright. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that this is you guys. You guys are fire signs. I think that this is your energy. And with this card being in the upright, this to me says that you are going to eventually get to that place where you are able to kind of harness the light of this fire here, and make the decisions that you need to make and to really take action. That's what this card is about. Taking action, pursuing your passions, going after whatever really gets you going and whatever gives you, you know, whatever breathes like fire and life into your soul, whatever that may mean for you. So if you're stuck in a place right now where you're just feeling worn out and exhausted and unappreciated, or whatever you may be feeling, you're going to eventually be able to harness your own inner power and then make decisions based on whatever is going to add to your life, instead of, you know, keeping yourselves in situations where you're detracting from your own quality of life. So I do like that that's the overall energy, and that it is in the upright, and that it most likely represents you guys, because I think that, you know, that just says that whatever you're going to go through, you're going to get through it and you're going to come out all right in the end. It might be a little bit difficult, but you guys definitely have the power and the ability to survive it and withstand it. And I think you guys are really going to, for those of you guys who may be going through this situation, are really going to take what I'm saying to heart and start to do, you know, some of the thinking and decision making that you need to do to get to where you know you need to be, whether it's in your personal relationships, in your career, whatever it may be. I did also pull an oracle card to give either some advice or just a little more information regarding your situation, and lo and behold, what you guys got: admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. Pretty much what I've been saying throughout this entire reading, and this definitely goes back to this High Priestess in reverse energy, needing to be introspective and honest with yourself, more than anything, and admitting the truth to yourself and then making decisions in accordance with that truth is going to, again, help you flip this Wheel of Fortune reverse into the upright. It's gonna start making things happen for you, and get you going on the right path. So you potentially have some difficult times lying ahead. I'm not somebody who sugarcoats anything. I can't really sugarcoat the Ten of Swords. It sucks. But, you know, again, you do have a really, you know, positive card here on offer for you. It's just a matter of getting to that point where you can know that you are on the right path. And once you get yourselves course corrected to where you need to be, that's when things are going to start happening for you. So I know that this reading isn't particularly positive, or happy-go-lucky, and it's probably not something that you guys want to hear. So I definitely expect getting some thumbs downs from people who aren't really happy with this message. But it's something that we all go through at some point in our lives, often multiple times in our lives. And you know, so this message is definitely to help out those people who are going through, you know, a bit of a difficult time, and they're going to know whether or not that applies to them. And if this doesn't apply to you and everything's going great in your life, then like I said, check out the monthly reading for the full month of September, or check out your moon sign and rising sign. You might get a little bit more information there, because this reading is very, very specific to a very specific group of people. So thank you guys for watching this video. If it resonated with you, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I would definitely appreciate if you like the video to give this a thumbs up, to share it, to subscribe to this channel. And I do want to take a moment to thank all of you guys who have watched the September videos and who have also watched the videos that I did back in August and given me thumbs ups and left awesome comments and subscribed to my channel. I'm very, very, very grateful and appreciative for all of you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in, and with all that being said, I will see you guys in a couple of weeks with your monthly readings for October.